Hello. We did it. As you can see in the cut to top 8, I am number 2. Passed by 7-7-20. Another regular in these giant sealed tournaments. Sagar, our round 8 opponent, gets there. Usually I get contacted by Deck Squid before this thing begins, but I guess that didn't happen this time. In any case, we have our draft. Plenty of time for the first pick, and I might not talk too awfully much just to show the process here. What are the options here? Plague Belcher, Trial of Strength, Gust Walker, Ornery Kudu. Not Ornery Kudu. Trial of Strength and Gust Walker are the only two real considerations here. I like the deck that Plague Belcher goes into. In fact, I like both decks, a zombie deck and a green-black tokens deck. The next few picks could be the Trial, Entangler, Gust Walker. We'll have to see what we wheel from this pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Someone might be doing a Slitherblade thing, but even if we wheel that, we could go into black-blue aggressive stuff. 2 white cards. If those who serve wheels, it might be a sign that zombies is open. One quick moment, we've got 50 seconds. Talk about the levels of drafts. What's the highest level draft in the world? I think the very highest would be a draft at the World Championship. You know, some of the best players in the world, 24 best players. That's pretty good. Day 2 of a Pro Tour. The first draft. Not so bad, but I think these top 8 drafts in a Grand Prix or and even a PTQ like this are pretty high level. But not even the Day 2 drafts at a Grand Prix. Those are about the same as an 8-4 single elimination queue. In any case, we've kind of seen this pack take the Plague Belcher and see what's next. Alright, a common is missing. What common would you take over Cartouche of Ambition? Magma Spray? Gust Walker? A couple good options, but it shouldn't be too difficult to see that Cartouche is correct here. Hooded Brawler's good, Cursed Minotaur is good. But maybe Cherubino is leaning red. Could also be a foil. No masterpieces available in these online things. And I'm just gonna, sorry if you get bored, I'm just gonna kind of take the time to look at this. Make sure we get it right. Not many white cards in this pack. So they could have taken a Fan Bearer, that's the other one. Oh, wow. Vizier of Many Faces. Is that a sign? Is that something we can pick up on and just take here? People don't love blue, but they're selling themselves short if they think Vizier is not the way to go. Other options, Cartouche of Strength, Bitterblade Warrior, and Nest of Scarabs. Now, some people might force their deck into a certain direction. We're losing white cards, so Fan Bearer might be missing. Bitterblade Warrior has a lot of upside, but Vizier of Many Faces is too powerful to pass. Third pick like this. Card is great. Do I want to be in blue-black? Not necessarily. But obviously blue is open, so we could get paid off with some amazing blue cards here. Black disappearing, that's a bit of a problem. Black-white disappearing. Let the whole table fight for their zombies. And we can take Essence Scatter, Watchful Naga, Watchers of the Dead, Shed Weakness. Of these, I like Essence Scatter the most, or Gift of Paradise even. Well, shoot, let's do it. Let's take Essence Scatter. Not many good cards left here. If any. Cherubino taking their time. Evolving Wilds, Honored Crop Captain, Ornery Kudu. Is it bad that I like Evolving Wilds here? I wouldn't mind an Ornery Kudu, but if we're going to be doing blue, we want to leave ourselves open for as good a deck as possible by taking these wilds. Maybe we can splash that third color if we get something strong. Yeah, and no guarantee we're in green, so kind of the safe pick here. Pretty silly to take Honored Crop Captain. Rather put someone else into red-white at this point. Alright. Well, Cursed Minotaur's been good all day. Wander in Death, maybe not as good here. Yeah, I'll happily pick up a Cursed Minotaur. Maybe that Slitherblade wheels and we go into a hyper-aggressive black-blue deck. Or any regularly aggressive black-blue deck. You could call it hyper-aggressive. Sorry, Ancient Crab. He'll probably be back anyway, but I like Cursed Minotaur here. I like it quite a lot. Yeah, we've got some powerful cards. Belcher, Cartouche, Essence Scatter. Here's the order. Now what? Devoted Crop Mate. But we want to pass white and keep that open. Stinging Shot. Always a fine pick. Unburden, which is not usually as appropriate. I do like Stinging Shot. I like the Stinging Shot here. Blue may be disappearing, but it's funny to get those early blue cards and then have it cut, so maybe someone's trying to screw us over, and we could go back into green. Now what? Spring to Mind. That's a fairly late Spring to Mind. Tormenting Voice. Shed Weakness. So a lot of medium or even bad green cards coming to us. But Spring to Mind has some upside. We already have a little bit of fixing. Our black cards are somewhat splashable. Okay. The Ornery Kudu wheels. I like Ornery Kudu, and I will happily pick it up here. Plague Belcher, Ornery Kudu style. Now what? Cradle of the Accursed, Naga Oracle, and Harvest Season. Let's get things in line here. I like Naga Oracle out of this pack. Not a strong card. Oh boy. Oh geez. My favorite deck by far in this format, and my most successful deck, is black-green. Went 3-0 with a deck once with 3 Nest of Scarabs in it. Let's do it. Let's see how far we can get. Gift of Paradise. Perfect for this deck. It fixes our double splash for Vizier. I'm just hoping we can open a Dune Beetle or Hapatra. Goodness, if someone wants to go nuts with Embalmer's Tools, by all means let them. Maybe we don't want to see Supply Caravan. We shouldn't cooperate too hard. We just take one of these off the table. Late Dissenter's Deliverance. Happy to pick that up. Sweet Swamp. Wow, a stamped swamp. Look at that. Just kidding. That's what we need. Need some mouth to feed in this draft. And we're not picking it over much. An Angler Drake. It did seem like green, or at least half of green, was open. our blue cards. We have one good blue card. Let's kind of narrow it down to that. I am very happy to pick Mouth out of this pack. And that gives us 2 solid rares in our colors. The more counters you're adding with these guys, the better Nest of Scarabs become. It's also an insane card with Stinging Shot. Lightning Bolt plus 3 1/1s. Put some of this stuff over here. Keep our creatures on curve. Nest of Scarabs kind of counts. No real reason to take too much time. 2 white cards, 3 good blue cards. So easily possible one of these wheels. I think people have figured this format out and they're just trying to pick up all the 2-drops they can. So what doesn't come back? Angler Drake, Scavenger. We might get a Mummy back, but I doubt it. Wander in Death could wheel. More than likely it's going to be Illumination or Shimmer Skill. Painted Bluffs will obviously wheel. And we can just take whatever comes back of these 3. Everyone's picked a card. Yeah, we might as well pick a card. Bontu. Oh, it's happening. It's happening, everybody. Watch out. Not the best or easiest to use god, but Nest of Scarabs gives you an endless supply of these sacrificial fodder for Bontu. And with the Plague Belcher, just sacrifice a few zombies while you're at it to deal more damage. Yep. Looks good to me. Grasping Dunes, I doubt it will wheel, but if it does, that's fine just as a one-of in a deck with Nest of Scarabs. We have a lot of wheeling potential here. Greater Sandworm might not come back, but Shed Weakness, Horror, Stinging Shot, these are all fine for the deck. Getting a god. Perfect. Cartouche of Ambition. I'll take as many of these as we can get. You know, sometimes you just get to put it on Bontu. Attack for 5 lifelink every turn. It gets nuts. The Slitherblade did not wheel. Come to think of it. So there is a white-blue deck out there that gets a lot of creatures down early, gets super aggressive with evasive threats and cartouches and whatnot. And it's important to have a comeback mechanic like Cartouche if you can get it. So, I mean, this is only the second, or this is the 3rd pick of the pack, but green has dried up significantly. Hopefully that changes. And why not? Splendid Agony. Warfire Javelineer is good, Wander in Death. But when you're boasting Nest of Scarabs, it makes Splendid Agony that much better. And you don't need much to make Splendid Agony great. Someone will be happy to get time to reflect, someone will be happy with the Javelineer, but I am quite content with some more -1/-1 counters and removal for early threats. Let's do it. Let's do it. Okay. Well, I do like Anointed Procession. What does it do for our deck? It only works with Nest of Scarabs and Mouth to Feed. It's a little crazy when we might just want Supernatural Stamina. But Supernatural Stamina is not even that good in our deck. I kind of like going overboard. Do we want a blue card here? Or do we want the real deal, Anointed Procession, getting back 2 things with Vizier? Craziest pick yet, but let's do it. More Splendid Agonies. These are really going to save us. Quarry Hauler is also a possible option here, and we're not doing so hot on the creatures. We don't have so many creatures right now. So we could take this hauler. Do you think? Oh no, so many 3-drops. Nothing at 2. Very little at 4. And hauler is such a solid card. Yeah. I'm taking the hauler over Splendid Agony. Very difficult pick there. Giant Spider, and we get our shot at Supernatural Stamina. Gale Strike is another good one. But I do like the Supernatural Stamina. We have enough 3s. This is just a solid card. Vizier, can we get something for our deck, please? I'm not talking about Wind Guides. I'm not talking about Skirmishers. I'm talking about some good cards for our deck. Vizier is not it. It might have to be the Skirmisher. I mean, if green is really drawing up this much, we need 2-drops. We absolutely need 2-drops right now. First pick 2-drops. Come on. So we do wheel these 2 guys. And Painted Bluffs comes back. Let's go with Shimmer Scale Drake. It's a nice flyer, you know. What more can you ask? Four-color nonsense incoming. Weaver of Currents. So, Sultai. Sultai's a real thing, I guess. We don't need the second Stinging Shot. Weaver of Currents has some real upside. Let's go with that. But to make a deck out of this, we're going to need another pack. Fortunately, we have it. I don't like Slitherblade. It does wheel this time, but let's take Benefaction, which has a lot of things it can do in this deck. We've got 2 cartouches. Yeah, we've got some good stuff for the Benefaction. Right now we're looking at 5 hits. Someone to our left, the Mongol, might have gone into green. There we go, Dune Beetle. Thank goodness. We have a 2-drop. A 2-drop we know will play. Cancel and Ancient Crab. I guess I don't mind a cancel. Very late Blighted Bat. I accept. 25 cards over here for White Stripe, taking their time. So how does it look? It still looks pretty weak. We've got some good ones. But we need to open a Beetle or Hapatra or something. We wheeled Nest of Scarabs last time, so maybe that card can come late for us once more. Wow, Oracle's Vault, Enigma Drake, Laybear, another Dune Beetle, a Wander in Death, Magnus Spray. Not an amazing pack for us. Is the Vault what we need? I don't think the Vault is what we need. Laybear is usually good. Not a bad turn to play. I might be undervaluing it, but what does it really do for us? We don't have so many creatures we need to bring back with, with Wander in Death. The zombie deck will be happy to get its hands on another one of those. Yeah, this is a tough pick. Should we even branch into something like Cartouche of Solidarity, assuming green is not going to come this pack? Well, Laybear is usually good. If we're not doing much else, I think it has a lot of upside. Some pretty good fixing here. I don't like Weaver of Currents yet. We're fighting too hard not to be in blue-black. Oh, interesting. Scaled Behemoth, Stir the Sands, and even irrigated farmland is something we could have our eye on. Upside of Scaled Behemoth, it wears cartouches very well. Upside of Stir the Sands, it's just a better card. We're already in black. It gives us some tokens for Bantu, for Plague Belcher, and it denies the zombie player a sweet playable. Yeah, let's do it. Let's take Stir the Sands. I like a Scaled Behemoth, but this looks better to me. Foil Canyon Slough. And a Bitterblade Warrior, which we need desperately. Red is not really the direction we're going at all. Although Soulscar Mage is fun in a deck like this if you get some direct damage. Blazing Volley. Blazing Volley Hapatra or something. That's not really it. So what I'm really looking at here is Bitterblade versus Canyon Slough, and I like Bitterblade. Gravedigger, nice. Not going to be sad about that one. Nothing else here to even consider, really. Unburden, Fling, it's just the best card in the pack, and we're in black, so do it to it. I also like Anointed Procession a lot more now that we have Stir the Sands. That's always a pretty nutty combination. So keeping an eye on the token count. Nest of Scarabs. Still just 3 things, which doesn't quite push us into the Anointed Procession territory, but... Oh no, Bounty? Bounty of the Luxa? A little too crazy for our deck when we can just take Cartouche of Strength. Yeah, Bounty's a little too crazy here. It might even wheel. No one is in that deck. Scorpion's pretty good too. So let's deny someone Cartouche at the same time, you know, doing some pretty good stuff for us. There we go. Trial of Strength. With the 3 cartouches, I like that a lot. God, I want this Defiant Great Maw too. But Anointed Procession works with Trial of Strength. And yeah, I think I will play Anointed Procession in this deck and cut blue entirely. The only thing we could do is splash Vizier of Many Faces off of our 1 Gift of Paradise. But I don't think that's worth it. Hey, Sheffet Monitor. Another way to fix. Ramp up a bit. And a Hooded Brawler. With very few creatures right now. It's possible we take the Hooded Brawler. I'm going to take Sheffet Monitor. Whew. We'll see if that was right. Ronus Monument doesn't work out at all in this deck, but Forsake the Worldly could. Honed Copish probably not so much. Lay Claim is something we could cut, but is it good against us? I don't think so. I'm going to cut Forsake here. Another Dune Beetle. Is that something we're interested in? 2 Dune Beetles. Maybe, but it could also be Wonder and Death. Nah, let's take Dune Beetle. Our deck is pretty well set up for the late game. Not insane, but pretty good. We're not going to be in blue. I'm going to take Dissenter's Deliverance, number 2. Cultivator's better than Dune Beetle. Benefaction, Painful Lesson. We're not going to play 2 Benefactions. Take a Painful Lesson. Millionth spring to mind. And if someone wants to scorch us, they can't. That mono color deck. Okay, so we have 10 minutes to build here. Anointed Procession, black-green Anointed Procession for the ages. Just not in, well, I guess we could splash in Forsake. Supernatural Stamina. Is that even good with anything? It's pretty good with Bantu, to be fair. Grave Digger. Quarry Hauler. It's a pretty decent card. Looking at 1 plains. Maybe not Lay Bear either. A few things to do early. Glad we got at least 1 trial. I like Benefaction here. Maybe even Gift of Paradise. Does that sound crazy, or is that okay? Gift gains life. It helps us stir the sands. Don't like these springs. I don't like blue. Supply Caravan's pretty weak, although it does make a token from time to time. Let's do Lay Bear. Take a look at this curve again. We have 5 enchantments. 6 enchantments. That's the real ticket. Benefaction plus 11 creatures and 6 enchantments. The only misses are these guys. Well, never mind. These guys. Maybe Nest is not good enough. Maybe the Anointed Procession is just not good enough. How many -1/-1 counters do we really have? Not enough, I think. The double blue will be too hard for this deck to manage. That's a bit of a shame, isn't it? Three sources of -1/-1 counters. I guess we have 5 sources. It's still not enough for the Nest. Not enough. Which means Anointed Procession gets a lot worse. And it means we could look at blue again. Bounty of the Lux had disappeared. I don't mind running 1 Deliverance. So we've got Shimmerscale Drake, Vizier of Many Faces. These are our splashing options. Cartouches are good. Kudu's still good. These guys are good. Spring to mind? Is that where we're heading? This looks like a consistent deck here. $12, $11, $1. But is it even worth it to run Shimmer Scale Drake with 1 blue? Or just play Benefaction instead. Let's see, even after taking out Nest and that, how many enchantments do we have? Does it come down to 4? That's not enough. Painful Lesson. It's a good way to keep going, especially after a Cartouche of Ambition. So 13, 11. That gives us an 8/8 mana base. And since we have a little more black, we can take this out for the green. Didn't quite get there, I think. The deck is powerful, but is it enough? Is it enough to go the distance? Well, we'll find out shortly. Submit this, see if people are ready. Looks like they are. Oh man. Do we play Cherubino here? Is it set up like a tableau, I wonder? Hello and welcome to round 10, or round 1 of the draft. We're all happy here to be in the top 8. We'll be on the play. Not an excellent hand, but keepable. Hopefully we're against a seriously aggressive start from our opponent. And they're down to 6, so we'll see. We have some late game stuff to play. We have Stir the Sands, Chef at Monitor, Mouth to Feed, some card draw. And they scry to the bottom. Is this the zombie deck? Oh no, more land. 16 land here, one of them is a fetch land. Red, black. Mummy. Well, we don't care about the mummy. That's the last thing we care about right now. So they'll compound their mulligan here by having to discard something relevant, while we get to discard a swamp. I feel like people are more inclined to mulligan in a high-profile tournament like this, but I'm not going to change my ways just for this. Oh boy. Let's pass it on. Not much they can do here, but I will Splendid Agony this guy. Not sure that it gets much better than that. Any trick they'd use to save it probably doesn't matter to us all that much. Quarry Hauler, sweet. Happy to see him. Unless they electrify it right away. Blighted Bat. Yeah, okay. We can deal with a blighted bat. One problem is we can't deal with a 4/4 Thresher Lizard. Wonder how much that matters. But life goes on. I'd rather kill a creature than leave a smaller creature. We've drawn 3 cards and 10 lands. Or 8 lands. 8, sorry, not 10. Whew. 3 spells, 8 lands. Go get 'em. Come to think of it, Bontu is pretty hard to use in our deck. We don't have so much to sacrifice and bring back. Gravedigger, a few tokens. Minotaur. Well, let's see what we got going on over there. Yoink. So we get rid of a fling. And we could offer this trade. We could offer this trade, but then we're behind a lizard. Quarry Hauler is traded with 2 creatures. They could find removal at any moment. If we hold back to block, we're in the same situation next turn. I mean, it's possible they don't block here. Okay. Not looking good. So 4, twice as many lands as spells. Well, at least that's something. That's an upkeep play. Another blighted bat. Our sad 16 lands right now. Maybe we don't do this on upkeep. Rather have 1 block for the Thresher Lizard. Of course, we draw the land we would have gotten rid of out of our deck, but our deck is just full of lands, apparently. Well, that's not good. Maybe we need to go into blue to get anything done in this deck. We've got the fixing for it. I'm not sure our blue has enough power at the late end, but it's got to be better than this. And they're still just drawing amazing stuff. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Deck should have some play to it, but 16 lands, too many. It's so easy to put blue in. Dissenter's Deliverance out. Well, I guess Dune Beetle's okay. Painful Lesson out. Vizier in. Lay Bear is good against Fling, I mean, that's for sure. Alright, so what if we put in 2 islands here? That's 15 lands. I don't know how I screwed that up. Put in this, so we've got 8, 6, 3, where Cultivator kind of counts. Alright, let's try it. Be on the play here, and a better looking hand. Try to get out of the gates early with some good stuff. All right, Miasmic Mummy. We have some good ones to discard to that. Namely these swamps. Don't want to discard. Probably we'll get rid of the 2 swamps if they have Unburden. And Cursed Minotaur looks good here. Doomed Dissenter. Sure. Can they handle our menace? Hardly. Of course. We probably need to draw some non-land cards eventually. We're still suffering from our 16 land but draw twice as many lands syndrome. It'd be one thing to draw even with land and spells, but to draw twice as many lands as spells? More than twice as many? It's a little rough. There we go. Now you're talking. So let's try this out. We can break up their block so that we just don't lose anything. Right? And then next turn we have Stir the Sands to keep the pressure on. So maybe we get this game. And maybe it was a little premature to put in... Oh god. Oh, interesting. Could have been premature to put in the blue. They discard something else over there. Now we don't necessarily have Stir the Sands on time. And they've got pretty good stuff to trade with it. But we'll be fine. Okay, getting aggressive. Blighted Bat. Mouth to feed. Well, they can't really disrupt this, so we get a good blocker out here. Get 3 damage back on them. And then more than likely we'll get our land next turn, depending on what they have here. Wasteland Scorpion, okay. You don't say. Quarry Hauler. Let's draw some cards. Now, one of the most likely things to draw, we've got Stinging Shot, Supernatural Stamina. Took out Dissenter's Deliverance. The thing we'd be most interested in drawing now is, Supernatural Stamina. But in any case, let's just trade our Minotaur for the Scorpion here. Or I guess it doesn't even trade with the Scorpion, does it? They just block with one of each of these. If they have another Supernatural Stamina, maybe we want to do this. Not a great attack. And not looking great for us by any means. Should have attacked with both, really. Okay, let's attack with the Hippo here. Trades with the Scorpion. Then we play out Stir the Sands. And hopefully that's sort of enough. Next turn, we could do something like Cartouche of Ambition into Quarry Hauler to take down a 2 toughness creature. I'm doing a lot with a little over there. Okay. Let's trade as many zombies as we can. And put a Sheffet Monitor into play. There aren't too many ways for black they can kill this, if any. It has to be a rare, like Never to Return. Okay, we're at 6. Don't kill us. Oh, thank goodness. Close one. Well, our trick doesn't kill the Javelineer and win this turn. But it's probably enough. Gain some life back. Kill the Blighted Bat, our big problem now, because we forced them to chump with the Javelineer. Puts them at 5. And they just had a really slow start, but like, I'm not sure what our deck is doing. We can play the Warrior here. This is our deck functioning without blue, so it does work. Maybe the blue is a liability, messes up our mana too much. I do not think this saves them. There's no black card that does it. Right? There can't be. Their hope is that we don't see it, I guess, or I don't know. Dead in the format. That's what that is. Goodness gracious. Huh. Oh, why me? Take out the blue. Painful lesson. And then let's think. 1, 2, 3, kind of. 4, 5, 6, 7, kind of. We don't need Gift of Paradise in this setup. Do we go deep this time? That might be what we need. Let's go a bit deep this time. Let's see if it works out. Mainly because our cards are just not that good. And that means we could bring in Gift of Paradise. For something. For Painful Lesson. Are we ready? Are we ready for this nonsense? I think so. All right. There's all our token makers. And they're down to 6 again. It's just always 6. Gotta get that, gotta get your hands on that scry. They scry to the bottom. Good answer to that. Great looking hand. I wish our deck was better suited to take advantage of it. Oh no, they're stuck on mana again? The trouble with those 15 or 16 land decks. I think they found it. Maybe not the right color, but... Could have thought about attacking with the Dune Beetle first. Don't like that though. Much rather block with the Dune Beetle, especially against the trick Supernatural Stamina. If they're going to attack in this turn, kill the beast, get a zombie, get their guy back. I don't know, maybe that's good, maybe not. Ooh. Well, if we draw our Stinging Shot this turn, we get a lot of beetles. Can we do it? No, not quite. Easy block for them. Not a problem. And we don't really have time to set up Nest here or anything. Let's just go for Quarry Hauler. We have one turn, and that turn is called Draw White Mana, and then we're in great shape. The old 6 zombies off Stir the Sands play. I guess we only have 1 Plains in our deck. Gift of Paradise is good. That takes a little longer to set up though. And actually just does nothing. It's such a shame. Oh no. Maybe we lose. Okay, we need to draw Stinging Shot right about now. Or any cartouche. That is not it. But I guess they're kind of struggling over there. Do we cycle Stir the Sands? Is that a reasonable option here? I don't think so. I think we need that card to win. And we're not in too much danger from the bat. It's just we don't have a way to kill them. We're just Not getting in that much. Compared to the life they're gaining. Pitiless Vizier, but they're down to 1 card. So that's good. That's good, I guess. Is it a cycler? Next question. Soon to find out. Let's be realistic here. Can we afford to play Nest of Scarabs and then Plague Belcher next turn? Or do we need the damage from Plague Belcher to win? We go to 9. We've got a chump blocker for the Vizier. 2 creatures with Menace. They go to 18 after this. Goodness gracious. How do they keep gaining so much life? 18, then 21. So technically this would be enough damage, and we don't need the chump blockers from Plague Belcher right away. God. Yeah, it looks like this is our best bet. Could be our best bet. We still have the out of Stinging Shot with our Nest. Electrify that guy. Come in with both. Easy block. Not a bad deal. This life gain is just... it feels like we're doing no damage. But now we have some zombies. Okay. If they hit next turn, things get scary. Can we please draw Stinging Shot? Give the old 1 time. Get Plague Belcher or Dune Beetle back. That's a good draw. Not 100% to save us here, but it was a good draw. Useless Anointed Procession. If they don't block here, I have a suspicion that we need to Gravedigger back Dune Beetle, but we'll see the damage here. 12 puts them at 3, they go up to 6. So that should be plenty of damage next turn. Okay. 9 puts them at 6, they go to 9. And that's 9 damage we have on the ground. Did they find a cycler? Or a stamina? That's also good, but I'm glad they're not doing that on their bat. I'm happy that that's not on their bat. So, do we play around removal? And they're at 9, so they can't block this. They can block one of these things. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, let's do Gravedigger Dune Beetle. Gotta get that second blocker out. Because if they draw land, this should still be lethal. And, you know, unless it's Trial of Zeal, I don't think they can win this turn. Is it their turn to get a little flooded? I hope. Come on. Come on, Mankazam, or whatever your name is. Okay, so we're at 3, they're at 9. Interesting. Seven, we just lost. Oh, come on. Did we lose? 8. We get 8 damage in here. Can you believe it? 3 worthless cards in our hand. Yeah, well, I can believe it. Yeah, they just needed any blocker, right? And Plague Belcher doesn't change anything. Oh no, Plague Belcher would have done it. Oh god, Plague Belcher would have won it for us. If we get Plague Belcher there, they lose, well, they have to lose 2 life after this. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They take 7, they lose 2. I was playing around removal, I guess, but it wasn't correct. All right, well, we'll try again.